Hello, everybody, and welcome. I am going to be reading some items from the item descriptions in Elden Ring that I've collected in my game. Um, I have an embarrassing amount of hours in Elden Ring already, but I've only beaten the game once, and it was pretty recently, actually. So, I spent a lot of my time doing side stuff and collecting a lot of things, and I always love going through and reading things and like piecing things together after the fact. Um, so that being said, there are going to be spoilers in this video. If you're not cool with spoilers, that's totally fine. This is not the video for you. But if you've played it and you're a fan like I have, and you're just cool with whatever, then yeah, here we go. I have a bit of a I don't know if I'd say speech impediment, but I'm known to trip over my words sometimes, so if people reading things and occasionally slipping up bothers you, this may not be the video for you either. So, yeah, anyway. Yo ho, near the spoilers you're about to go. So, yeah, things, yeah, so we're gonna have a really nice relaxing time. I think the Reukaria Library is a really wonderful place to read. Um, oh, are those cradles up there? I've never noticed that. Do you think her young students are up there right now? Like, do you think they're not dead? From her boss fight, which, by the way, I really loved her boss fight. Really like her character. Yeah, so she's over there. And there is no human here because, admittedly, I did not know how to finish Bach's questline. Um, I didn't know that you had to take the "You're Beautiful" plate to him. Uh, but if you give him a larval tear, apparently it's a bad ending, and it puts him like right here as a human who cannot speak. So, fucked up if true. But anyway, let's get comfortable next to our friend, our teacher here. And I was wondering what I actually like wanted to read first, because there's a lot of cool stuff. Just, I'll kind of scroll while I ramble a bit here. Um, all of these ashen spirits have like information on where they originated, and some even have names, like the spirit jellyfish is Aurelia. I thought about going through and reading all the sorceries and the incantations. For people curious, you can see on the right, I went with like a strength and a faith build. I'm level 160, mostly because I just like leveling up, and although I do like summons and things like that, I don't know. I don't want to stay at level 125. I feel it's kind of limiting. I want to feel really strong. Um, and I felt like incantations didn't get very good until later in the game, but it ended up being really nice, and there ended up being a lot of them that I really like. But I actually think today I want to read, where are they? The talismans. So I know I have the achievement, like, for gathering all the legendary weapons, all the legendary talismans, and all the legendary incantations and sorceries, but I have no way of knowing if I have every talisman or anything like that, because I'll show you what my map looks like. Um, it's pretty filled out. Like, again, I have no way of knowing whether or not I've done everything, because, like, I just found, what is this? The Golden Lineage Everjail today. Like, and I've beat every optional boss, like, I'm almost a little worried because I'm like, oh no, I feel like I've totally like cleaned house on this playthrough. I've already opened up another character whose name is Flora, and I'm going to be doing an intelligence build because there in the beginning of the game, I felt so cheated. I was like, why do you keep giving me sorceries? But towards the end, I was like, oh, okay. Having high faith in endgame really pays off. But some of these have important lore, and I think some of these might be more basic, so I'll skip around and just start reading a few talismans. And put in my opinion where it needs to be. Just making sure we're still going, and I'm going to... oh yeah, I remember, this is one of the keepsakes you can get, but my keepsake in the beginning was the Twin Fang Imp Ashes. I went into the game as blind as I could. I didn't look up anything, so I just went with my gut. But let's see, Crimson Amber Medallion. A medallion with crimson amber inlaid boosts maximum HP. The Erd Tree's old sap becomes amber, treasured as the most precious of jewels in the age of Godfrey, the first Elden Lord. A primordial life energy resides inside. And that's something I'm curious about, the primordial energy, because that's the same word they use to refer to, the primordial energy of the Crucible, which came before the Erd Tree, but it makes me wonder if the Erd Tree is, yeah, I have no idea if the Crucible is just the Erd Tree before it became what it is today, or if it's something else entirely, but that's very interesting to me. A Crimson Seed Talisman. A crimson-colored talisman patterned after an Erd Tree seed. Boost HP restoration from the Flask of Crimson Tears. The Erd Tree was once perfect and eternal, and thus was it believed that Erd Tree seeds could not exist. Huh. So, not so eternal anymore. There you go. Blessed Dew Talisman. Talisman depicting a drop of the Erd Tree sap, a blessed boon. Gradually restores HP. It was once thought that the blessed sap of the Erd Tree would drip from its boughs forever, but that age of plenty swiftly came to a close, and with time, the Erd Tree became more an object of faith. There's a popular fan theory going around that the Erd Tree thrives off suffering, which I just don't believe, because if that's the case, why isn't the Erd Tree thriving? People point to the bodies in the catacombs that are entwined in the Erd Tree's roots, but I think it was either an NPC or some item description that says that burial at the Erd Tree, or its roots, were or was a high honor. So I think people just did it because it's your ashes have to return to the Erd Tree, so if you have the luxury, you can bury yourself in the roots and you get there quicker. That's just what I thought, but I don't think, yeah, the suffering is a thing for that. This is another one about the Cerulean Amber Medallion. It is again the Erd Tree's old sap becoming amber. Same with the Viridian Amber Medallion. And the Green Turtle Talisman is really cute. And it says, a talisman in the shape of a green turtle raises stamina recovery speed. Turtles are known as a nutritious ingredient, symbolic of inexhaustible power. However, those who hold turtles to be wise creatures consider the practice of eating their meat to be barbarous. And you know what? They're right. They are absolutely correct. Arsenal Charm. An iron charm that resembles a mass of weaponry. Boost maximum equipment load. This talisman was derived from an unusual greatsword once wielded by a hero hungry for vengeance. And these are just the upgraded versions. Except for the Great Jar's Arsenal, which is a little different. This is the one you get for defeating the 3 champions of that giant Great Jar in Caelid. A charm that resembles a great jar overflowing with weaponry vastly boosts maximum equipment load. The Great Jar grants this talisman to their warriors. Carry as much as you can. Grow big and strong. Yeah, because the Great Jars are always growing. Good for them. Erd Tree's Favor. A talisman depicting a special blessing of the Erd Tree. Slightly raises maximum HP, stamina, and equip load. It is said that when the age of the Erd Tree began, such blessings were personally bestowed upon their recipients by Queen Marika herself. And these are the upgraded versions. Except this is the legendary talisman. Radagon's Scar Seal. An eye engraved with an Elden rune, said to be the seal of King Consort Radagon. Raises vigor, endurance, strength, and dexterity, but also increases damage taken. These seals represent the lifelong duty of those chosen by the gods. I believe the increased damage you take is 7% extra. I've been using the Radagon Source Seal. Um, let's see. Solemn duty weighs upon the one beholden, not unlike a gnawing curse from which there is no deliverance. And you can see that the rune is like getting deeper, embedded into the eye, which is very, fun, I'm sure. And here's Marika's Source Seal. This legendary talisman is an eye engraved with an Elden rune, said to be the seal of Queen Marika. Greatly raises mind, intelligence, faith, and arcane, but also increases damage taken by a similar measure. And then again, solemn duty weighs upon the one beholden. For most of the game, I did the Star Scourge heirloom and the Two Fingers heirloom, which raise strength and faith respectively. A talisman engraved with a scene from a heroic tale raises strength. The mightiest hero of the demigods confronted the falling stars alone, and thus did he crush them, his conquest sealing the very fate of the stars. And that's obviously an image of Radon? Yeah, Radon. I almost said Radagon, because the names are very similar in this game. Prosthesis wearer heirloom. A talisman engraved with a scene from a heroic tale raises dexterity. Though born into the accursed rot, when the young girl encountered her mentor and his flowing blade, she gained wings of unparalleled strength. Yeah, after fighting her, I would say. That is Melina. Melina? Yeah. I am Melina. Blade. Yeah, okay. Stargazer heirloom. A talisman engraved with the legend of a queen raises intelligence. The young astrologer gazed at the night sky as she walked. She had always chased the stars every step of her journey. Then she met the full moon, and, in time, the astrologer became a queen. That is Renala. I don't think that's Ronnie because Ronnie never became a queen. And here is the Two Fingers heirloom. A talisman engraved with the legend of the Two Fingers raises faith. Fingers cannot speak, yet these were eloquent. Persistently did they wiggle, spelling out mysteries in the air. Thus did we gain the words of our faith. And that is the Two Fingers, and they sure are just as freaky in person. Dragon Crest Shield Talisman. Wrought iron talisman depicting a duo of ancient dragons greatly boost physical damage negation. The ancient dragons who ruled in the prehistoric era before the Erd Tree would protect their lord as a wall of living rock. And so it is that the shape of the dragon has become symbolic of all manner of protections. 1, 2, 3 dragons, and that's the Great Shield. Okay, I was about to say. I was like, that's not, what is his name? It's not Placidusax, is it? No. Spelldrake Talisman. Talisman depicting a duo of blue ancient dragons greatly boosts magic damage negation. The ancient dragons, who ruled in the prehistoric era before the Erd Tree, would protect their lord as a wall of living rock. Okay, so these are all just different types of dragon protections. The Flame Drake Talisman, the Bolt Drake Talisman for electricity, the Halig Drake Talisman +2 to boost Holy Negation. This was very useful for me in the final boss fight, by the way. I do think I had this equipped that whole time. Here's the Pearl Drake Talisman, which boosts non-physical damage. Very interesting. The Immunizing Horn Charm. An accoutrement worn by the ancestral followers raises immunity. Said to be a budding horn, the ancestral followers believe that the horns of a long-lived beast continue to bud like antlers over and over again until the beast one day becomes an ancestral spirit. Also, I don't know why sometimes I stutter and slip over my words, probably because I have a speech impediment, but the fact that I can bust out accoutrement out of nowhere and then fuck up on things like was and were, yeah. I mean, that's what it'll do for you, I guess. The Stalwart Horn Charm, +1. See, like, this is an item I'm missing. Where's Stalwart Horn Charm? Just regular. Is there a +2? I don't know. And it's so hard because I can't exactly look up, like, every single item in Elden Ring. I don't know if I have that kind of dedication in me. Stalwart horn charm. An accoutrement worn by the ancestral followers greatly raises robustness. This is said to be a budding horn. Okay. Let's see. Clarifying horn charm. These are yet again budding horns, raises focus. Precious to the ancestral followers. The mottled necklace. Let's see. Model necklace +1. Oh, the Prince of Death's pustule. A fetid pustule taken from facial flesh. Raises vitality. Vitality governs resistance to the effects of death. It is said that this pustule came from the visage of the Prince of Death, he who used to be called Godwin, as first of the dead of the demigods. It's said he's buried deep under the capital, at the Erd Tree's roots. Oh, the Prince of Death cyst. A fetid, overgrown cyst taken from facial flesh. Greatly raises vitality. So, like, you can see that this is, like, stage 1. You can see eyes there, and then stage 2 is you can see noses forming, and it's like, the death root has, like, totally taken the appearance of Godwin. I don't know what that could mean. I don't know if his body is, like, malicious in nature. I don't know. The dagger talisman. I think that's a depiction of Vare. A talisman depicting a dagger and a surgeon. Enhances critical hits. The white-garbed field surgeons come to the aid of friend and foe alike by dealing a final deadly thrust to spare them from the prolonged agony of a mortal wound. A sense of mercy is a catalyst for bloodlust. The curved sword talisman. A talisman depicting a curved sword and a swordsman. Enhances guard counters. It is said that a blind swordsman was the originator of this technique, the art of allowing one's opponent to strike so as to leave them vulnerable to a well-timed reply. Twin Blade Talisman. A talisman depicting a twin blade and a confessor. Enhances the final hit ending of chain attacks. See what I mean? That reading comes and goes with the wind for me. The twin blade technique is a tradition of the confessors who closely guard the secret of how they preserve the momentum of their attacks. Thus is the final strike of their onslaught all the more deadly. I really do like the confessors. That's the class I chose for my first one, and I just really like their lore. I like that the church is like shady and has assassins. I just like that a lot. Axe Talisman. A talisman depicting an axe and a warrior. Enhances charge attacks. The lord who led the long march bore an axe, and his loyal warriors honored him by wielding axes of their own, making them very effective at dealing decisive blows. Then we have the Spear Talisman. A talisman depicting a spear and a soldier. Enhances the counterattacks that are unique to thrusting weapons. Spears are standard weapons for soldiers in the lands between. They've made it possible to respond to a ferocious foe with an equally ferocious counterattack. The Claw Talisman. A talisman depicting a claw and an assassin. Enhances jump attacks. The assassins of Ravenmount are killers by trade. They assail their victims while dressed as birds of prey. The Great Shield Talisman. Talisman depicting a knight holding a great shield. Who would have guessed? Boosts guarding ability. The Knights of Landale once modeled themselves after the Tree Sentinels. Their purpose is to protect that which deserves protection, and thus the shield always comes before the sword. And then we have the Arrow Sting Talisman. A talisman depicting 3 iron arrows, carried by soldiers long ago. Raises attack power of arrows and bolts. So I don't know how effective these were, or are, I suppose, because, like, I never really equipped them. I think I had one of them in early game. I don't know which one, but I equipped it, and then I, pretty much ditched it for my faith stuff. We have the Graven School Talisman. A talisman depicting a school of graven mages, the nightmare of the academy. Raises potency of sorceries. The Primeval Current is a forbidden tradition of glintstone sorcery. To those who cleave to its teachings, the act of collecting sorcerers to fashion them into seeds of stars is but another path of scientific inquiry. A talisman depicting the first school of graven mages, a nightmare that would continue to haunt the academy, greatly raises potency of sorceries. The primeval current is a forbidden tradition of glintstone sorcery. To those who would cleave to its teachings, the act of collecting sorcerers to fashion them into the seeds of stars is but another path of scientific inquiry. So these are pretty clearly like that right behind us. And it makes me wonder if like the way they say it, like the act of collecting sorcerers to fashion them into the seeds of stars is but another path of scientific inquiry. I wonder if it's like, I wonder if Selen did that intentionally, and now she's like not happy with the result, or if this is some sort of like punishment for seeing into the primeval current. But I'm very interested to see that expounded upon, if it ever is, because that's very interesting to me. Apparently it's a seed of a star, so yeah. The Faithful's Canvas Talisman. A talisman bearing an icon that depicts a group of masked figures, raises potency of incantations. The figures represent the flock at prayer, their firm belief in the intangible inspiring even the solitary founder of their religion. And the intangible inspiring even the solitary founder of their religion. Yeah, okay. What is faith if not an affirmation? And this is just the upgraded version, the flock's canvas talisman icon, whatever. Primal Glintstone Blade. An old glintstone blade that has been stained with blood. Reduces FP consumption of sorceries and incantations at the cost of maximum HP. The old sorcerers would slice open their hearts with these blades to imbue a primal glintstone with their soul, and thus did they die. Didn't Selen do this? Moon of Noxtella. This legendary talisman is a treasure of Noxtella, the Eternal City. Increases memory slots. This talisman represents the lost Black Moon. The moon of Noxtella was the guide of countless stars. This is another one that I've equipped for most of my journey. You can see my spells in the bottom right corner. That is, I believe, Great Heal, Lightning Bolt, Black Flame. Yep, I know the names of all of these spells. I've played this game for over 200 hours. Yep. The last one's named Elden Stars, and the second to last one is Rotten Breath, and that one on the bottom left is Black Blade. So, yeah, I'm a real gamer, I promise. Old Lord's Talisman. A legendary talisman depicting the ancient king whose seat lies at the heart of the storm beyond time, extends the duration of sorceries and incantations. It is said that the ancient royal city of Farum Azula has been slowly crumbling since time immemorial. And it's interesting because like the ancient king dragon that we fight in Farum Azula, the secret boss fight, only has 2 heads, whereas this one has 4. So I wonder what happened there. The Radagon icon. A legendary talisman depicting the Elden Lord Radagon. Shortens the casting time of sorceries and incantations. As the husband of Renala of Caria, the red-haired Radagon studied sorcery, and as the husband of Queen Marika, he studied incantations. Thus did the hero aspire to be complete. We have the Perfumer's Talisman, a talisman depicting a set of perfume bottles. Raises potency of perfume items. There are gardens known only to the perfumers. Whether hidden on the fringes of the highlands or obscured by shadows inside caves, the flowers blossom in secret, waiting to impact their scent. The Carian Filigree crest? A talisman adorned with the royal crest. Lowers FP consumed by skills. An honor said to have once been awarded to the Carian knights who served as direct retainers to the kingdom's princesses. Now there is only one princess, Rani, daughter of Renala. We have a Shard of Alexander. Shard of the late Alexander, a shattered warrior jar. Greatly boosts the attack power of skills. Scraps of stewed flesh cling to the shard, and tatters of ornaments can be seen, mingled within the slime. Relics of a red-haired champion, it would seem. Yeah, so, looks like Alexander straight up just took Radon's corpse. He was like, I'll be taking this. You don't need this. It's fine. And then we have the Godfrey icon, a legendary talisman depicting the Elden Lord Godfrey. Raises charge attack power of sorceries, incantations, and skills. Godfrey was a ferocious warrior. When he vowed to become a lord, he took the beast regent Sirash upon his back to suppress the ceaseless lust for battle that raged within. I will say, during his boss fight, when I saw him kill the beast on his back, I was like, oh, that's almost like too sad. I don't know. Like, I'll kill you, but I don't want you killing that animal. It's very upsetting. Fire Scorpion Charm, a talisman carried by assassins who strike unseen. Patterned on a scorpion freshly shed of its exoskeleton, its claws seizing a heart that burns with fire. Raises fire attack power, but lowers damage negation. Yeah, I never used any of the scorpion charms either. It's just lightning negation and holy negation. Or, attack power, rather. Then we have the Crucible Scale Talisman. A talisman fashioned from a scale that embodies the aspects of various creatures, said to have grown on the human body long ago. It reduces damage taken from critical hits. A vestige of the crucible of primordial life, born partially of devolution, it was considered a signifier of the divine in ancient times, but now is increasingly disdained as an impurity as civilization has advanced. This is, again, a Crucible Feather Talisman, yet another thing that grew on the human body, as well as the Crucible Knot Talisman, a bony knot that embodies the aspects of various creatures. We have the Ritual Sword Talisman, a talisman patterned after swords used in ritual combat held to honor the Erd Tree. Raises attack power when HP is at maximum. The practice had died out by the age of King Consort Radigan, but remains of the arenas where ritual combat took place can still be found in every land. The Ritual Shield Talisman, a talisman patterned after shields used in real ritual combat held to honor the Erd Tree. Raises the defense when HP is at maximum. The practice had died out by the King. Radagon. Assassin's Crimson Dagger. An assassin's dagger, misshapen and stained in crimson. Critical hits restore HP. This charm is modeled after the darkly gleaming blades used in the Night of Black Knives, those which gave the demigods their first taste of death. And then we have the assassin's cerulean dagger, which is the same, but it restores FP with critical hits as opposed to HP. The Winged Sword insignia, a talisman depicting a raised prosthetic blade, an honor bestowed upon the knights who fought alongside Melania the Severed. Raises attack power with successive attacks. The wings symbolize Melania and her undefeated prowess. Though she never knew the relief from the accursed rot she was born into, her blade was forever beautiful and relentless. And then we have the Rotten Winged Sword insignia, which you get from completing Millicent's questline, which is very sad. A talisman depicting a raised prosthetic blade, an honor bestowed upon the Valkyries who served the goddess of Rot. Greatly raises attack power with successive attacks. The four sisters were born in the swamp of Aeonia and came to the Halleck tree under the aegis of Gowry, and yet those buds were doomed to never blossom. Which, by the way, what was the deal with all of that? Like, I have no idea why, Gowry wanted those girls to blossom into flowers, like, and at the Halleck tree, no less. Like, I don't know. It seems like Melania's got it covered. Yeah. What? Oh, fuck. Listen. I know her name. Melania. That's the one. Yeah. God forbid. The Godskin Swaddling Cloth. A sacred cloth of the Godskin Apostles, made from the supple skins sewn together. Successive attacks restore HP. The Gloam-eyed Queen cradles newborn apostles swaddled in this cloth. Soon they will grow to become the death of the gods. We have the Kindred of Rot's Exaltation, a talisman depicting the exaltation of pests. Raises attack power when poisoning or rot occurs in the vicinity. Rot for the Scarlet Goddess, O scarlet blossoms, flourish in distant lands and return to us, the unwanted children. Lord of Blood's Exaltation, a talisman depicting the exaltation of the Lord of Blood. Raises attack power when blood loss occurs in the vicinity. Render up your offerings of blood to your lord. Drench my consort's chamber. Slake his cocoon's thirst. His awakening shall herald the dawn of our dynasty. The Taker's Cameo. A talisman engraved with a stern likeness of Praetor Rykard, master of Volcano Manor. Restores HP upon defeating enemies. The word Praetor, Proctor, threw me. I was like thinking about it as this sentence went on. When Rykard returned to his Heresy, taking by force became the rule. The gods themselves were no different after all. Then we have the Ancestral Spirit's Horn. I will say, I love the Ancestral Spirit's boss fight. It was very, very good. I love the music from the Regal Ancestral Spirit. Item cut from the horns of the Regal Ancestor Spirit. Restores FP upon defeating enemies. A number of new growths bud from the antler-like horns of the fallen king, each glowing with light. Thus does new life grow from death, and from death one obtains power. Also, my neighbor is straight up walking his dog right now, and my windows are open because it's spring. And boy, I feel totally fine about this. Don't forget we're relaxing. This is supposed to be relaxing for you. Are you relaxed? You better be relaxed. We have the Gold Scarab. A talisman, a facsimile of a scarab. Facsimile of a scarab? The carrier of treasures and precious things. This golden scarab increases the amount of runes obtained from defeating enemies. A talisman, facsimile of a scarab, and this one increases item discovery, because it is the silver one, which is very exciting. Oh man, that's pretty much it, except for these last few. Crepus's Vial. Small mysterious bottle with a dark mist sealed within. Eliminates all sound made by the wearer during movement. A ritual implement used by the Round Table Hold assassins. There was a time when Tarnished who had strayed from guidance feared nothing more than utter silence. Oh, okay, that's one way to enforce things. Concealing Veil. Talisman put together from dark cloth with a lustrous sheen. Completely conceals the wearer's presence while crouching at a distance from foes. Part of one of the concealing veils used by the assassins on the Night of Black Knives. We have the Longtail Cat talisman, which made me very angry, because I was certain that it would make me immune to fall damage, but it does not. It just reduces fall damage, but if you die, you die. A brooch depicting Lacrima, the long-tailed cat. Grants immunity to fall damage, but does not prevent death from a high fall. Lacrima features in the fables of Rhea Lucaria, in which she is described as a fairy cat who is fond of playing in the Great Bell Tower. The Furled Fingers Trick Mirror, a small clouded mirror that reflects an image of a golden figure. Makes the bearer take on the appearance of a host of fingers, one of the ritual implements created by the Tarnished to deceive invaders. Then we have the Host Trick Mirror, a small clouded mirror that reflects a flesh and blood figure. Makes the bearer take on the appearance of a summoned cooperator, one of the ritual implements created by the Tarnished to deceive invaders. So if you wear this, you look like you have been summoned, so you don't look like the host, so people won't target you. We have Shabriri's Well, disturbing likeness of a man whose eyes have been gouged out. The corners of his mouth are upturned in an almost flirtatious manner. Constantly attracts enemies' aggression. It is said that the man, named Shabriri, had his eyes gouged out as a punishment for the crime of slander, and, with time, the blight of the Flame of Frenzy came to dwell in the empty sockets. And this is the guy who's really, like, out there turning tricks for the, Flame of Frenzy. Fun fact, when I found Shabriri in the Land of the Giants, and he was all like, "May chaos take the world," and he went into his evil villain laugh, I was like, this man dies today. And so I killed him. I don't know what the consequences of that are, and I do not care to find out. So, uh, God, may he rest in peace, I guess. Sacrificial twig. A talisman fashioned from a dried twig, so slender that it might snap at the slightest touch. Yeah, people say that about me too. God, no. Prevents rune loss upon death, but will be lost itself in exchange. Believed to be a twig pruned from the Erd tree long, long ago. Yeah, because she's not doing so hot now. But yeah, those are all my talismans. How long did that take? Oh, yeah, barely any time. That was like nothing. That was like nothing at all. Oh, I want to show you that mirror. Oh god, of course I can't change my equipment while I'm sitting down. Oh, I'll go into my messages before I leave, because I am leaving all of social media to become an influencer in Elden Ring. But yeah, so now if someone invades me, I'll be like, "What? Host of fingers? No, me? No, I'm just a silly little lady. I'm just hanging around. Hi, how are you?" Um, Also, this hammer that I'm using is the hammer you get after, or that you can get from the Remembrance of Radagon, and it's very good. It's very useful for invasions, and because it's special ability. I don't know if it'd be too loud for me to play, um, so I'll just avoid it for now. But I'll go into my messages and see what the girls are gagging over today. Um, so yeah, my problem is like I have a few that have been like gain traction. Some don't, some do. And then like there are some I save simply because I feel like they're useful um, for other players. But yeah, I really really enjoyed this game. I'm gonna show you how many hours I played in it, and you're just gonna have to not judge me. We're gonna have to be all really cool, and we're gonna remember that like being nice is where it's at. So we're not gonna bully me. Also, like I don't think these numbers are entirely accurate, because I leave my game AFK all the time, so I would say subtract 30 hours from this, maybe 40. It's at 231 hours and 6 minutes, and my character's name is Maple of Syrup. So, easily 200 hours in this game, maybe a little less. Like I said, I go AFK a lot. But I also show you my equipment. I've got the America's Hammer, plus 10, because it's a really nice weapon. The Gravelstone Seal to increase my lightning sorceries, plus 25. Blasphemous Blade, plus 10. I've only been using the Jellyfish Shield because my brother told me to. So I've been using it, but I do like it. It's very pretty. And then I have the Sentry's Torch equipped because the Black Knives aren't going to catch me slipping again. Speaking of, I'm wearing Black Knife armor except for the Juvenile Scholar cap because you can't fight crime if you ain't cute, so go and run and tell that on the mountain. But anyway, yeah, I guess that's it. It's my first ASMR video in a while. I appreciate everybody who took the time to listen and to relax. And yeah, also I guess this will be my first new upload on my new channel, Sleepy Cemetery, because, you know, we're sleepy, we're a little goth, and that's cool. That's fine. You can be a little sleepy and a little goth. Like, who told you you can't? Um, but yeah, so that being said, I hope you rest in peace.